What's going on YouTube? How we doing, subscribers? Big up all you that haven't subscribed but are watching. I see you. It's my match prediction. Arsenal versus West Ham this Saturday, 3 o'clock kickoff at the Emirates. The first of 3 London derbies. We got West Ham, we got Fulham, we got Crystal Palace. If we can get 9 points from these 3 games, then yeah, great. But these London derbies are not going to be easy. Definitely not going to be easy. West Ham haven't lost at the Emirates in 2 seasons. I find that stat absolutely amazing. Someone I worked with was letting me know this a couple of weeks ago, that, you know, we've got every chance of beating you at the Emirates. I'm like, bro, allow it. And he reminded me, I was like, wait, so you beat us 1-0. Was it 1-0 last season or 2-0? Either way, they beat us 1-0 and 2-0 over the last 2 years. We haven't beaten them at the Emirates in 2 seasons. We beat them away. So, you know, we beat them at their own ground. I think it was 5-2 last season, which was early this year, and then we beat them either 4-0 or 6-0. I can't remember which one it was. We actually annihilated them. But yeah, they've got a great record against us at the Emirates. Not many teams can say that. And not just to come and draw and park a bus like we've seen already at the Emirates this season. They've actually beat us. Forest beat, West Ham beat Forest this season. That's the only win. I predicted West Ham would go down this season. I still think West Ham would go down. I don't think having just Bowen up front is enough. You sold Kudos, one of the best right-sided players in the Prem, for me, potentially anyway. His ceiling is very high, but you haven't got enough going forward, really and truly. And defensively, they're abysmal. So I don't see how this record of beating us at the Emirates is going to continue. It definitely shouldn't be continuing. They've had no clean sheets this season, apart from the Forest game. I think they won that 3-0. Other than that, they've been getting smoked. Like, that's why they were 17th. Or they were 19th. 17th maybe. I think they're very low, the 17th. Anyway, like I said, I predicted West Ham to go down. They beat Forest, but Forest this season have not been great anyway. So that's not a big win really when you look at the grand scheme. If they beat Forest last season 3-0, then yeah, I'd be shocked. But this season, Forest have been absolutely shocking. They got no clean sheets at all. But yeah, let's talk about my boys. I want to see Gyökeres score at home. Watching the game the other day, I feel like the Champions League game, there's a few chances where it could have been put through and it wasn't. And I don't know what's going on, but let's hopefully still improving and we're winning games. That's what matters. I feel like the whole emphasis was about getting a striker, which we've got now in Victor Gyökeres. But also we're keeping clean sheets. We're great defensively. Some of the stats I was looking at before the Olympiacos game was something like Gyökeres and Timber had the most shots on target for Arsenal. Gyökeres and Timber. Not Gyökeres and Saka, not Gyökeres and Ødegaard, not Gyökeres and Zubimendi, not Gyökeres and Mourinho, or Martinelli or Trossard. Timber has had the most shots on target. I mean, it says a lot. It says a lot because even yesterday, you look at the game earlier this week, Saka's second goal. Arsenal's second goal, Saka's first goal of the game. And Saka's on the left-hand side and he's just smashed the ball hard and low. And it's gone through the keeper. And it's like, we've got to take more shots because no one else would have taken that shot on the left side, really and truly, unless it's probably Eze because he's got a good left foot. So it's good to see. We need more players shooting. Because like my old coach used to say, if you don't shoot, you don't score, you don't win. Some other random facts. Timber, do you know what? Timber doesn't get the props he deserves because he's joint top shooter, unless it's a random stat. Nothing to really cheer about. Don't let the other rival fans hear us talking about this either because you know what they're like. But yeah, Timber's had the most tackles, gets the most tackles as well. I think Gabby does the most blocks. We saw him do a great block against Newcastle with his hand in the penalty box. It wasn't given. That was absolutely amazing. Like, for once, VAR is actually working with us, even though it just cancelled out the first penalty that we should have got anyway with Gyökeres getting taken out. But that's another story. But yeah, some of these stats are crazy, man. What other stats did I see? I wrote another one down. Yeah, assists, Rice and Eze. Obviously, we've seen what Eze's been doing, which is great, and Rice. But yeah, Rice, big game for Rice. Big game against his former club. We got him half price, Declan Rice. Definitely got him half price, man, 100%. But yeah, who do I think is going to start? My predictions. Actually, let me tell you what I think the score's going to be for Saturday. You know, I love a good old... We haven't had a 3 o'clock kickoff in a long time, actually. There's been a few 12:30s. There's been a few 5 o'clock ones at 8 p.m. We've had 4:30 on a Sunday. So it's nice to have a good old traditional Saturday 3 o'clock kickoff. Get the highlights on. Do you know what I mean? I love a good old 3 o'clock kickoff. Right, so I believe on Saturday, I don't know who's going to score the goals, but firstly, I think we're going to keep a clean sheet. I don't see us conceding anything at home against West Ham. I think Gabby and Raya and Timber and Calafiori, I think, in it as well. I might as well tell you who I think is going to start, because that will make more sense before I tell you the score. So in defence, Timber, Saliba, Calafiori, and Gabby. Rare in goal, obviously, goes without saying. I think between those four, I don't think we're going to concede a goal on Saturday against West Ham. So therefore, my score prediction is 3-0. I believe it's going to be 3-0. Now, there's something I want to see in midfield, and I really want to see it quick, and I don't think anyone else is talking about this, or I haven't seen anyone talking about it. They may have been. If you are, I'm wrong. I really want to see Eze and Ødegaard start together in midfield. I just want to see can you have too much creativity in the middle of the field? Can you really play with two number 8? I mean, they say Ødegaard's at 8. I think he's more of a 10 than an 8 myself personally, but he's not a full-on 8, full-on 10. And Eze, I don't think is a full-on 10. I think he's the same as Ødegaard. So I think Rice for me sits in that CDM role, that 6th position, box to box, and just gets rid of everything. Does the corners, free kicks as well, and the odd shot if he can get it off. But I want Ødegaard and Eze sitting in those 8 pockets, kind of 10s but 8. We call them 8s because that's the way football is now. But traditionally there'd be 2 10s. I want them sitting with 2 10s either side of the striker, just below either side of the striker. And see, can you have too much creativity on the pitch? Can them two play alongside each other? I think it'd be actually beautiful to watch Eze and Ødegaard flicking the ball between each other. And then you've got your wingers either side and Gyökeres coming in. I think it'd be really good to watch. Really good to watch. And yeah, that would be my midfield. Rice, Ødegaard and Eze. On the left, I'm still going with Martinelli. I think Martinelli just tips it for me rather than Trossard. Again, he scored again, so I feel like there's no reason to drop Martinelli. On the right, I'd go Saka, and obviously up top, Gyökeres. But what I did wonder against Olympiacos, can Saka play on the left? I don't think we need to explore that now, but maybe... Let's say, for example, that's our starting 11, and it's 0-0 at half time. You get to the 60th minute and Martinelli not looking great. Instead of bringing on Trossard for Martinelli, could we not bring on a Max Dowman or Ranieri? Because I don't know which one he's going to play first. I don't know if he trusts them or he thinks they're ready. But I'd like to see Max Dowman come on and play where Saka is on the right. And we take off Martinelli and put Saka over to the left. Saka scored his goal on the left-hand side against Olympiacos. He was playing on the left as well. So he's obviously proved that he can play there. Even he played left back for England and done really well. So we know he's versatile in other positions. And I'm pretty sure a left-footed midfielder can definitely play on the left wing. 100%. He'll skip past people because people always expect him to cut in. So it could be that Saka switches over. I'm not saying permanently, but if we have to make that sub. And that could be even when Madueke comes back, that Saka goes over to the left sometimes, or they just interchange. We've seen that with City sometimes and other teams. It'd be good to see them interchanging and switching over and getting the best out of our squad, because the squad rotation is great at the minute. Because also you see my first 11, my prediction is 3-0. I'm saying there's goals because we've got the creative juices flowing now. Everyone's hungry for goals. We're hungry for wins, and we're hungry for clean sheets. The defenders are celebrating every tackle, every block, every missed opportunity that the attacking team don't take. We're celebrating it, and it's great to see, because the clean sheets are what are going to help us win titles and scoring goals. We drew so many games last season, and this will be the time for us to get those 3 points. When we was dropping points galore, we're actually capitalising now, like at Newcastle. So it'd be really good to see that starting 11. And then obviously on the bench is strong. Once we obviously got our injuries out of the way, squad rotation, we saw that on Wednesday, and Saturday. Sorry, last Sunday, Wednesday, we've seen the squad rotate, which is what we need to be seeing. We need to see Zubimendi and Rice and Odegaard and Eze and Mourinho just interchanging. Then there's 5 to 6 players there now just interchanging, keeping fit, and keeps your opposition guessing as well. It means they can't read us. Last season, everyone knew what team we were playing. Maybe that's what was easier for them to then park the bus, play the low block, and we would just struggle to break them down. Whereas now they don't really know who our starting 11 is. I can guarantee I could get 10 Arsenal fans now, and you could pick your predicted 11, but can you pick Mikel Arteta's 11? That would be different. And I don't think at the minute anyone can. I most certainly can't. I would say if I was to try and do it, midfield would be, the back four would stay the same, with Timber at the right, Calafiori left, Saliba and Gabriel on the rear and goal. I think that's our first choice back line. Midfield wise, I think, what would Arteta pick against West Ham? So I'm saying it's so tough, because we've seen him go with Zubimendi, Rice and Mourinho, but we've seen him go with Zubimendi, Rice and Eze. Odegaard looks pretty fit, so is he going to be Rice, Zubimendi and Odegaard? Or is it going to be Zubimendi, Eze and Odegaard? Because we've seen him drop. Rice has been started on the bench. Now for me, I always thought Rice was a first team choice starter, but we've seen that he started on the bench. So, I don't know. I would think he would go with Rice. No, Zubimendi, Eze and Odegaard. He won't go with that. He's going to go with Zubimendi, Mourinho and Odegaard. I think they'll be the three that start. And he might. Is he going to play Eze on the left again? Either. That's another thing we don't know. Is that just something that while people weren't up to speed, like Martinelli and Trossard, or is it just he's experimenting to see can Eze play on the left? I don't know. But no one knows. Mikel Arteta knows, and that's why he's Mikel Arteta. But yeah, 3-0, my prediction on Saturday. That's my starting lineup. And guys, thanks for liking. Make sure you share with your friends, share with a family member, share with a hater too. There's a lot of them out there. But I feel like we're the most hated club in football right now. Even when we're winning, we're the most hated club. When we're losing, we're the most hated. It just seems to follow us everywhere we go. But yeah, thanks for watching. I will see you on Saturday after the game. Once we know what's happened, once we know what the score is. But it's going to be 3-0, right? Right?